There we go. Wait for the red to show.
All right.
Ta-da!
We're live. I did it.
She did it. I let her do it this time, and she actually did. I look like Santa Claus. My face is so red from being out in the sun today. Look at that.
Well, it's been like 3 or 4 days of being outside.
Yeah, bright, bright sun. This morning was cloudy, cold, windy, and then today it turned off bright, sunny, and cold and windy.
And we've been outside for, what, 3 or 4 days straight?
3 to 4 days straight, nonstop.
And Danny's been fencing, so I've had to help. And if I didn't help, he'd still be fencing next week.
I'd still be fencing next week, and we're not through.
Hey y'all, let's see. We got Lou. The chat's been
rolling.
For a
There's
while.
been tons of people going through here.
I see Lou, and I'm trying to read as it pops. Georgia Garden Girl, which was our flashlight winner.
Sure, I've been chit chatting back and forth for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Abama B Learner. I can't. Florida Homesteader. Hello, I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
Sherry Mark, one of our moderators. Fulgum Farm, Mary Beth's Fabrication Ranch. I like that.
Georgia Garden Girl says, okay, I see a black screen now. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Well, nobody else is saying it. So
Florida Homesteader went fishing today.
For the first time. We could have went fishing if we wanted to. We have a pond. Yeah,
we talked about it, but they ain't big enough yet, we don't think. Biden thinks Danny is a Neanderthal.
Yeah, he does. He does. And that's okay because I don't really care what he thinks. But, you know.
It is kind of fun.
It is kind of funny.
And we like living in Mississippi. I can't help it.
We can't help it. But we're usually last in everything, but this time we're first in something.
Okay, so somebody asked, did we replant the English peas?
And the answer is yes, here they are. Look at this, guys. They're up about 1.5 inches tall. And as of right now, they are doing good.
So, guys, we do have a video. Probably everyone who asked has not seen the video, but John says, hello from a proud Neanderthal. He's in Florida.
Yeah.
And but our English peas are up. They're looking awesome. And this is the second time we had to plant because the first time the freeze kind of...
The freeze got them.
It wasn't the freeze, it was the rain.
Well, the rain soaked the ground and then it froze and spewed ice all up out of the ground. It froze them and they turned to mush, yeah.
So our English peas are looking good. This happened, was this yesterday? I can't remember. Voila!
Well, this is our garden dirt. We did that yesterday and it is fantastic, guys. That is why I love that tiller behind my tractor. Look at that garden. You can plant that now, and I mean, it is just the most beautiful sandy loam soil that you can lay your hands on.
Hello, Living with Cancer. I was going to ask, now that I see Living with Cancer, can you send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com? I was going to say that in my last video on Crazy Days, and I forgot it. So, Living with Cancer, send me an email, please. I saw my daughter Maggie popped in. I think
Amy's
in here.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention that much, but I know those two were
Lippy's
here.
stuck. She's on fire somewhere. I don't know what's going on with Lippy.
What?
She's stuck to something. She's always stuck.
I did see the thumbnail where they had the flames. Where she had the flames. Yeah, I think I know what that's about. But
she was stuck.
Anyway, she was stuck bad this week now.
She ain't made it in, so I don't know if she's still stuck or not. Maybe she can't moderate because she can't move her fingers.
She can't move her fingers because she got stuck.
All right, Danny, can you do a video on fertilizer? What, when, and where? I guess.
I can. I hope there's no March freeze. Well, technically, we've got 3 days this week, starting in the morning, that the temperature is supposed to be 33, 35, and 32. So we're going to see how it turns out.
But now, English peas should take this weather.
They can take that weather.
Plant.
The plant can. Now, if you have a pea on it, it can't take it. If you got a bloom on it, it can't take it. But the pea plant itself should take it.
Gossmania went to Jack's today.
Yes,
Guess what?
I spoke to Mr. Jeffrey about you two today.
Guess what? Wanda did too.
Look what this. Look at her indulging in this sinful stuff. Now, this was technically not at Jack's. This was technically at the place in front of Jack's. There,
it's just a trailer that they pulled in. Jack's had them come in, and this is called a snow booger.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
I didn't know what it was. I looked on the side of the van, and it says, "Have you picked your booger today?" And I was just like, what kind of advertisement is this? You know?
But mine was coconut ice cream with a piece of cheesecake added onto it, with blueberries and strawberries drizzled with whipped topping. It was amazing. It was so good. And then this is the.
Oh, hold on, Kim. Yes, Kim. We showed your pocket things. Yes, we did. A couple of videos back on one of our live streams had the little pocket prayer things.
Yes.
Yes.
It's still. I got them right here somewhere. I did because I left them on my desk. I hadn't moved them, but they're still here.
They're still. We did show them. Yes, we did. I was trying to catch it. I saw it go by about 2 weeks ago. Yep. Yeah.
This is the Grands. Little Abby got one as big as I did. The other two like their ice cream a little bit on the plain side. Brianna got Oreos added to some ice cream, and Cade got cheesecake added to his, I think. But Abby got this big giant brownie chocolate goodness added on hers.
Alabama Gardner, no, I do not pinch my English teas to make them bushier. No, I do not. Ours get plenty bushy like it is. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, ours go crazy anyway. And this is my son and his wife. They decided they didn't want a bunch of ice cream. They opted for snow cones. So if you see that trailer anywhere, they go around and that's what they have.
Yeah, Wanda is a junk food junkie.
Oh, I love it, y'all. I can't help it. So we did get.
Hold on, let me catch this. Somebody ain't catching that.
I don't know what it says.
Oh, they caught it. Okay, I didn't catch it in time. That was Annabeth. She was just like.
Oh, what did Annabeth say? They'll put us back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Danny's messing with our stuff.
I was trying to catch that because the moderators wasn't catching it, and I was like.
If somebody has something that says help for review or something, just go ahead and pop it up. Unless it's something ugly, then you can ban it.
Yeah.
I would like to see her
eat that big dessert. It was as big as she is. Yeah, she did eat most of it. Now, her mama did eat some.
Her mama finished it
all. Let me talk about today just a moment. Today started off early this morning with a YouTube channel showed up here. Naked Hog. Wes and Angie, the kids came by. Mm-hmm. We spent some really valuable time together. We was able to bless them. And they're always a blessing to us, just being a friend of ours. And then while they were here, Wanda's son, Jesse, and his wife, Patty, showed up. Mm-hmm. And then just moments later, come rolling in Maggie with her, all her kiddos with her. And I was like, wow, we had people everywhere today. But we had a blast.
It was so much fun.
Amanda, we have more kids. We don't even know how many we have. We have more than we know how to count.
Okay, I got 5, and you got 2.
Yep. I've got several stepkids.
And then he's got 3 grandsons, and I've got, I don't know how many. Amy's got 7.
You got around 10.
And Maggie's got 4. Let's
11.
See. And the 3 boys don't have any.
12. John don't have one?
No, wait. John, never mind. 2 boys don't have any. John has 1 daughter and 2 stepdaughters.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got about 14. You got about 14 grandkids just alone.
I just forgot.
Well, we got about 14, and I've got 6 or 7 more, even on my side, through stepkids.
Yeah. Yes. And the grandkids are just.
Plus Carrie's.
Yeah. I said you had 3. Jennifer's got 1. Carrie's got 2.
Okay. I didn't remember you saying Carrie's. Okay.
I said you got 3 grandsons.
Okay.
We can't count. We lost.
We got so many.
When they show up, we just enjoy it.
We just enjoy it. We check them when they leave to make sure the alligators didn't eat one or something.
Yeah, they don't like alligators.
Yeah.
But No, we had a fun day. We don't count kids, but when Amy's
No.
here, Amy counts kids all day long.
Yeah, she has
She
to.
has to, so she ain't missing
She couldn't
one.
even look when COVID happened. She couldn't even go to town with her family.
Yeah.
There was too many of them.
Yeah, there's 9 of them.
You couldn't have
Well,
what
she could, but she couldn't take
she
nobody
couldn't
else.
take nobody else with her. I mean,
There was limited to 10. Their family gathering was just them
yeah,
because she was limited
they
to
couldn't
10.
go see nobody else because their family made up the 10. Yeah,
It was kind of funny.
yeah.
So,
But I mean, the Bible says though that little children are a heritage of the Lord. You know, blessed is the man who has his quiver full of them.
yes. Marina said she just got a GreenStalk. I didn't put a picture of my GreenStalk up, but my potatoes are going wild in the
Oh, they
GreenStalk.
are doing that.
And
now.
I'm gonna do a video on it this week. On the GreenStalk, we've got I'll probably on Crazy Days if I get to, and I want to do an update every couple of weeks on the GreenStalk, how the potatoes are doing until a harvest. And it may not be a video just itself; it may be with other things.
Country Homestead Preacher, to be honest with you, I don't know what kind of oil that is. It's a special kind of oil. I looked on the bottle, and you just got to order it from the company. I don't know what it is. I I just told Wanda, I said the best thing we can do is go ahead and order probably 3 or 4 more quarts of it, and just have it on hand in case an LCE happens. At least we got some oil.
Yeah, and with the freeze dryer, I ordered new trays today. No, I have not burned out the old ones. We just decided early on you need 2 sets of trays.
Yes, it's just so much easier if you've got 2 sets.
Yeah, because you need one set in the freezer freezing because you freeze everything ahead of time. It says you can put it in dry, not frozen.
Right.
And you can.
It takes a lot longer.
It takes a lot longer, plus
a lot more electricity.
A lot of people have explosions.
Yes.
And one day in cleaning, no explosion if I can help it. I don't like explosions and stuff. So we've learned early on, freeze everything in a freezer, not just in, a refrigerator freezer doesn't freeze as hard as a deep freeze does. And so we ordered a second set of trays. I'll have one in the freezer and one in the freeze dryer, so we can rotate out.
I want to know, what have you planted in your greenhouse?
A Cherokee garden. I got Cherokee tan. I planted one of those pumpkins. I planted the Cherokee yellow wax beans. Cherokee, what is it? White, long
ear white popcorn.
Yeah, white popcorn, and it's up. I'm gonna give y'all a preview this week.
This week you get to
see it. Danny's fixing to plant some Cherokee lettuce. We got this from Hoss Tools. They just started carrying it. I was hunting it, and I messaged Wes, which was Naked Hog, and I knew Wes ordered from, was it Johnny's we looked at?
Yes.
Johnny's carried the Cherokee lettuce, but they were out. We couldn't order any. And so I messaged Wes, and I said, do you have any Cherokee lettuce? And he said, no, I don't. But he said, I think Hoss Tools just got some in. He said, I think that's one of their new products. And so he went to Travis, and Travis sent me the Cherokee lettuce. So Danny's going to do a video probably Monday showing a new product Hoss Tools has out.
Yes, guys, look.
It's amazing.
These 2 new products I'm going to be showing y'all, hopefully I'm going to have on Monday if we can get everything edited and get it done. These things will make your seed starting so much easier.
Especially in small areas.
Yeah, if you live in apartments or if you live in a suburban area, any of these kind of things, or wherever, these products that I'm going to be showing y'all, we went ahead and ordered them from Hoss Tool and got them in, and they're going to make seed starting 100 times easier than what we've ever done. Wanda and I have always been used to the old-fashioned way. This is a new way to do it, and it's amazing. So hopefully we're going to be able to get this to y'all, and you're going to be able to see this.
Yeah. So we're really enjoying this. But what else have I got? Danny's got tomatoes up, the Cherokee purple tomatoes.
I got Cherokee purples, I got Amish paste, I got celebrities.
For my greenhouse.
And all this. But yeah, we've got all that up right now. We got squash, we have all kinds of stuff up.
What else did I plant that was Cherokee?
You got the yellow wax beans, you got the popcorn, the Cherokee tan pumpkins,
and then the tomatoes and the lettuce.
The Cherokee purple tomatoes. You got the lettuce we're going to be planting tomorrow.
I can't remember if I got anything else.
I think that's pretty much.
But then I've planted like cucumbers. I planted the purple green beans, or red green beans, whatever you call them. I planted zucchini and squash, and I think some of that's up. So we're doing pretty good.
People want to know what's the story behind the Cherokee plants and why do we grow them? Well, first of all, it's part of my heritage, and it's one of the things that we've had such good success with. The Cherokee people really had Trail of Tears.
That's the other one. Yeah, the Trail of Tears.
It came to me while I was talking.
I planted Trail of Tears.
We have had such good success planting the Cherokee products that they do well for us here at Deep South Homestead, and they're very nutritious and they taste good.
Yeah, Danny. The deal is back in the land we live on was part of the Cherokee Nation, I guess. The Cherokee tribes and different ones lived on this land in particular. And so when I researched Danny's history, they roamed this area. They had their houses here. They were always here. And so when I started researching, his great grandmother about 5 or 6 times back was
she was a Cherokee.
Well, it said Homa, but that was part of the
Cherokee Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that I've not been able to go any further.
Yeah, but if you go back any further than that, it talks about her mother, Rebecca, was a Cherokee.
Yeah. So you have this where they changed the names at that point to American names, and it's hard to go back further than that without me doing a whole lot of research and paying a lot of money. And I just haven't got any further than that right now.
There were some questions went by. I forgot what they were.
Oh, and I also that leads to this.
Yes.
I almost forgot because that was part of the Cherokee thing. Sheila messaged me after she saw my Cherokee. That's what I was doing, and she sent me a few of her seeds from the Cherokee Seed Bank.
Now these are actually from the Cherokee Seed Bank in Oklahoma.
And so she sent, this one is called Hearts of Burning. This is a flower. So I'm going to put some of these in a container. I'm not going to put them in the ground, but they will be in my greenhouse. This one is the white flower corn. Now, Danny's anxious to do this one.
Yes.
The corn looks, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's an odd shape for corn.
It kind of looks funny for corn, but it's supposed to be a white flour corn. You can actually make flour out of it.
And then 2 different types of gourd seeds. The jewel gourd and what was this one? Basket gourd.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sheila. I'm anxious. I've never grown gourds, and so that would be something we had to grow out in the field. I won't grow them in the greenhouse. Usually grow them
on a fence row or something. My daddy used to grow them all the time, but we haven't ever grown this variety.
No. And so I'm anxious for the flowers too, because that gives me a Cherokee flower in there. So
Dawn's asking, what part of Mississippi are you in? I guess she's talking to us. We're about 30 miles north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So hopefully, man, she may have been talking to somebody else, but
I don't know. I can't read the chat hardly today. It's popping really fast.
Yeah. So
if we miss something, you'll just have to repost, because I'm not seeing about every 5 or 6 because it moves. I can start reading this one and then it pops off.
It just jumps. Ours just jumps, and we get past some. Yeah, if you posted something we didn't get to it, just redo it again. We're not trying to avoid you or anything. It's just that sometimes we can't see them as fast as they jump.
And so what else have we got going on? Did we show any?
No, you haven't showed anything here other than the snowboarders.
Okay, the onions.
Onions. Let's see here.
I'm kind of proud of these onions, y'all.
Look at this, guys. This is the Texas Legends. They are actually starting to jump. Now, these are the ones that's outside. The ones in the greenhouse are doing just as well. These, I fertilized these, last week I think I fertilized them.
Yes.
So they are doing fantastic. And we are big time onion people. So we really love the onions.
Yeah.
Now, the onions are not the only thing that we're having, that we're going. And what's bothering us right now, we got this, another kind of like another Arctic plunge coming down in here. And we have stuff up that we are hoping that doesn't get that cold. Thank you, Julie. We really appreciate that, girl.
And we'll be praying that it stays gone.
Yes.
She said her vertigo is gone.
Amen.
So that's pretty good.
That is great. But guys, this is our potatoes right now.
That's the ones over by the cabin?
Yep, this is in the garden by the cabin. They're coming up. If everything is all right and looks good, we probably will have to start plowing them as early as next weekend, maybe.
Mama Tried says, is there still time to plant English peas in Zone 8?
Yes. Yes.
Where can I find some purple hull peas to plant? Ask Hall's Tools. I think they have them.
Yeah, Hall's Tool did have purple hull peas. Now, it depends on what kind of purple hull peas you're talking about. There's Mississippi purple hull. There's just purple hull. Then there's pink-eyed purple hull. I mean,
don't get me started.
Yeah, there's a lot of different kind of purple hull peas, so you got to know which one you want.
Do you know that you can pop out the chat window and make it bigger? And
yes.
Do we have it popped out today? Maybe that's part of the problem. We haven't popped it out
No, because you started it and I didn't.
That's my fault. That's my fault. That's the step I missed. No wonder I'm having trouble reading that chat. It's like little bitty. And this don't do much better, but it is wider.
At least it's wider that way. I'll take care of it. Hang on. I was sitting here not thinking about it. But let me show you one more picture I think we have here.
That's the potatoes by the...
These are the potatoes by the shop up here. We have a little small garden up here. These are the ones that's beginning to pop through the ground there. So right now, our potatoes are doing pretty good. Yeah, pink-eye top pick. I do see that, yeah.
Is old Alabama Gardener in here? I just saw somebody saying something to him, and I must have missed it. Hello, Mr. Charles.
Hello, Mr. Charles.
We have our comfrey from Mr. Charles still growing. He brought us some comfrey, what, 4 years ago?
4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And we still have that stuff.
We still have it, and if anybody asked, I'm saying go see Mr. Charles. And I still have people asked about the okra all the time. When I do a video, I'm saying Mr. Charles from Old Alabama Gardener told me how to do this okra.
Melvin is asking the question, how much rain did y'all get from this last storm? How much mud do you have? Well,
none.
I'm going to show you how much mud we have right now. You see this? That's how much mud we have. We got absolutely no rain. That's what our fields look like right now. We got no rain.
Now, see, Miss Lippy showed up. She got her fingers unstuck.
Oh, she got unstuck.
She ain't stuck right now.
Hello, Lippy.
No, Buddy's rolling the chat, and she's just...
That's what it is. Buddy's the one running the chat. Lippy's just sitting in the background.
With her fingers stuck.
Yeah.
Y'all, if y'all don't know the story, you have to go back and watch Jim and I Homestead's live stream last night. Yesterday, or the day before. Was it yesterday? It's Thursday. My phone rings up during the day, and it's a Facebook chat, and I couldn't get to it, so I didn't answer it. And about 10 minutes later, I come in the house, and I answered it, and it was Lippy, so I called it back right quick, and Buddy picks it up, and he says, hey, hold on just a minute. And he turns around, and she's got her glasses stuck to one hand, and her fingers stuck here, 3 of them that she can't move, with super glue. So y'all had to go see the story. It's funny.
I know what one of the questions was a while ago. Somebody asked a question. Do we make our own potting soil? Somebody asked that question way a while ago.
There's one too about potting soil. Something about grazing.
Yes, we have a video up. Did we put that on YouTube or Patreon about me making the potting soil? It's on Patreon.
Is it?
Yep, we put the video on Patreon.
Maybe, yeah.
How we make our potting soil. So, I mean... It's kind of hard for me to sit here and explain it. You would almost have to go over to Patreon and see it.
How do we water everything?
We don't.
God waters most everything.
God waters everything we have here. We live on a land that, honestly, in my fencing I did this past week, if we dig 2 foot deep in the ground, the hole fills up with water. That's how much water we have here. And
we don't get a lot of rain. It's not like it rains a lot, but we get enough that it keeps our plants growing without making them mushy.
Yeah.
And I have to water the GreenStalks, and we have to water the greenhouses. And usually that's all we water unless it's midsummer. And absolutely, like last year and the year before, we had some really dry days. we did water some, but we didn't water the fields. We never watered the fields.
We don't ever water
usually.
the fields. Nope.
It's been a couple of times, and we did buy a big tank to water them, but I don't think we watered them but one. We watered fruit trees.
Yeah, we water fruit trees mainly, yeah.
Yeah, to keep them because we don't want to lose our fruit trees.
And we got one more picture I'm going to show y'all. This here is in Ms. Wanda's green or high tunnel, right here.
Aren't those pretty?
Look at that. That come out of Ms. Wanda's high tunnel. Look at this, guys. This is the beauty of growing in a high tunnel. Look at that. That is like picture perfect.
Those radishes taste so good. And Angie from the Naked Hog gave me a good recipe today. I've never tried it, and probably a lot of you say, yeah, I've done it before, but I've only eaten radishes fresh. That's all I've ever done is fresh. I didn't know there was another way. And she said to roast them. She said to cut them up and put a drizzle oil on them and some salt or any seasoning you want. And she said stick them in the oven and roast them. And she said they are fabulous. So I will be doing some this week.
Okay. Did my citrus trees actually live through the freeze? And the answer is yes. They done perfectly fine. One of them outside, the orange tree, lost all of its leaves. They all burnt and fell off of it, but the tree itself so far seems to be doing good. All the citrus trees in the greenhouse made it without any problem. They're doing fine. Matter of fact, they're putting on new leaves. Someone asked in the questions, what fertilizer do we use on our onions? Onions, up until they are in their latter stages, needs high amounts of nitrogen and phosphorus. So we use liquid phosphorus and we use calcium nitrate on the onions.
Now, Jesus said she has serious problems growing radishes. She's not sure why. Anybody have any suggestions? I am a person that can't grow radishes. I planted them. He went in and thinned them.
Yeah, I told her, I said, what are you trying to do here? I said, you're going to have radishes. You got to thin these things out. So I went there and started pulling up hundreds of them. And I just took them out and fed them to the chickens. And I never said nothing to her.
Until they started producing.
Yep.
And he said, oh, by the way, I thinned a lot of them out. Now you'll have radishes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, geez, thank you.
Yeah.
So they're beautiful now.
Yeah, you can buy the calcium nitrate at any of your feed stores. Just about has it. It comes in a little small 5-pound bag. We usually buy several bags of it up and just have it here because I use calcium nitrate on everything.
All right, so Marina says, have you ever tried growing, and I don't know that word, some type of sweet potatoes, but I've never heard of it, so I don't guess we have.
Oh, the Murawskis? No, we don't grow them down here. They don't do well here.
Did you say there were two types of sweet potatoes, long vine and short vine?
Yes, you have sweet potatoes that do long vining ones, and you have sweet potatoes that are short vining ones, and all the energy grows into the root system on it.
Any tips on growing blueberries? Zone 5 started some new bushes this spring.
Make sure the soil is acidic, at least a 5 or a 5.5 pH. If it's too alkaline, you need to put some sulfur to the soil to make it more acidic.
Do we powder out any of our dehydrated vegetable oils?
Yes.
With the freeze dryer, we're going to start doing that. We
did garlic the last time. When we dehydrated garlic, we made powder out of it.
All the dehydrated onions that I have several quart jars. I'm going to be powdering those shortly, so I can have my quart jars back because I probably have 8 or 10 jars of peppers. Danny grew a lot of peppers last year.
Pia, try neem oil. Neem oil works really good on getting rid of the bugs and stuff on your citrus trees. And guys, before we go any further, let me stop. I want to take just a minute. This past week or so, Wanda and I was notified that the Needy Homesteaders family had been in a bad car accident. We actually put up some videos. Was it Facebook?
No, I went on Facebook in our Deep South group and put, this was like 7 o'clock that morning, put her video and her GoFundMe. That word won't ever come to me. Put that on our Facebook group, and then one day I made a video on Crazy Days, and I included that in there on her stuff, asked people to go watch. And y'all, the way to help her is to watch her videos.
Watch her videos, or either go to her GoFundMe page if you feel like you want to financially help her out. It's kind of, when I saw the story, it was very moving for me because I lost a spouse, not as suddenly as she did. Mine was over a period of time, but loss is loss, and my heart went out to Heather and the loss of her husband, and the fact that she couldn't see her kids. You know, that to me that was just stupidity. I'm just going to go ahead and use the word stupid.
But that's the way the hospitals operate.
But that's the way the hospitals operate now.
And y'all, the deal is she just needs our prayers, and she does need any help that you guys can offer. But if you watch your videos, that helps too, because the more the videos are watched, the more it throws in a different algorithm.
You get in more of an algorithm.
Comment, thumbs up, all that helps her videos get, and it helps ours too if you come in and do that for ours. Any YouTube channel that you do that, if you comment and leave a thumbs up, that helps them tremendously. You don't know. It's not all about money.
One thing I wanted to say, a lot of people kept trying to come down on us and condemn us, says y'all haven't made a video, and they were like getting real ugly and nasty about it. And the bottom line is this: if I'd have made a video about that, it would have made people click onto my channel, and I would have been the one to have reaped the benefit from that. Instead, we went kind of behind the scenes and done things to make sure that everything went straight to her. I am not about usurping authority over someone and taking their tragedy and trying to bless myself out of it like a lot of YouTube channels did. I'm just not going to do that. It's not, you know.
And GoFundMe does charge. Somebody asked that.
Yes.
Some people were asking, and you might check her video, because I know they asked her if she could put up either a post office box or something so people could direct send to her and all the money goes to her. So if you're more comfortable with that, check under her in her description, because I think she probably has a post office box.
Yes.
I know when Danny was sick, we have a post office box, and people blessed us then through the post office box, because they knew if you used, we didn't have a GoFundMe, but we did have PayPal. PayPal takes a small percentage every sometimes. So that is a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, but I do remember them talking about asking her to put a post office box up.
Yeah. So the reason we didn't do a video, guys, is because we weren't trying to capitalize on someone else's tragedy. We went behind the scenes and done things to help this situation out. We wasn't looking for any glory from it or anything like that, but we did what we felt like the Lord led us to do, which is work behind the scenes very quietly, and not to take any of the glory for ourselves.
Some of them are saying she really didn't want checks sent to them. Okay, so that may be something else. GoFundMe is more of a safe way, I guess, and that may be the reason they're looking at that.
Yeah, because she was still in the hospital. She couldn't get to anything to.
So, but y'all go check it out.
Check out her channel, and
she has some really good.
She's got some great
cooking
videos.
recipes, lots of recipes and stuff. I don't know if everything's recipes, but most all of them I've seen are recipes, and they're really good. She does a great job with them.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there, because so many people have been checking with us, contacting. Why hadn't y'all done this? Why hadn't you done that? It's none of nobody's business what we done. We did what we were supposed to do, and we just did it behind the scenes. Let's put it that way. Okay. Moving forward.
Okay, somebody asked about blueberries. Zone, I forgot what zone.
Zone 5.
What's the best blueberry to plant in that area? And I don't know.
It doesn't. If your zone, I forgot what zone it was, to be honest with you. But if you're zone 7 or 6 or 8 or 9, Premier is going to be one of your better blueberries to grow. It comes on kind of early, and it makes a huge blueberry. They can be the size of a nickel up to a quarter. I mean, they can get to be huge, and they are very sweet.
In the rabbit.
What's the rabbit eye? It's in the rabbit eye family.
Okay, that's what we got today. When we went back to Jack's, Danny bought one more blueberry because we had one in our area that didn't make it, and Maggie bought one. So
yeah.
She already had one, but she needed a pollinator.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else?
Well, we talked about the whole video tonight is supposed to be.
We ain't even got there.
We ain't even got to it. I mean, this is so frustrating. But we're enjoying what we're doing. I can't say that. Should my sugar cane have come up already? No, mine's not even up yet. I mean,
we got a few little sprigs.
There's a little few sprigs here and there, but it's not warm enough yet.
When it gets really warm and stays warm, it'll start popping.
Anyway, guys, we were talking about the expansion of Deep South Homestead, and we are in the process right now of expanding Deep South Homestead. We've began many projects this past week. Wanda and I spent several days working on one of our fence rows. We're getting ready to begin to do some expansion projects here at Deep South. We only have 10 acres. And when you only have 10 acres, you can only do so much on 10 acres.
Yeah.
So Wanda and I have decided it's time to expand. And we will probably in the future have some videos coming up showing, what we're talking about and our expansion here at Deep South Homestead. It's something that we feel like in order for us to continue to keep Deep South at its present rate of growth that we must do.
And this past year we expanded, even though we didn't expand land, we expanded.
Yeah.
We put 2 ponds in. That's a big expansion for us because it expanded our growing. I mean, most people don't think of ponds as growing anything, but we're growing food in the ponds.
Yeah.
That fish is our food. It's future food. So we expanded in that way. We had woods all over the place. And we needed pasture. So Danny cleaned out areas and re-fenced on this side, which was an expansion. There's ways to take 10 acres and expand.
Yeah.
Another one was the greenhouses.
Lyman Gardner, yes. The thornless ones are just as well as the other ones. They grow just as good.
We did 2 high tunnels or greenhouses. We call them both. That expanded our growing.
Our food growing, yes.
You can add raised beds. You can add pots or whatever. You can expand your growing area without expanding land.
Yeah, we just expanded our cattle pastures. We made them larger for the cows. We'll be doing a little bit more of that in the future. But guys, remember I told y'all back at the beginning of 2020 that Deep South Homestead was fixing to make some big changes. And y'all got to see, like Wanda said, you got to see us put in 2 ponds, a pier, 2 greenhouses. We have a cabin. All these things, the porch, the she shed, garage, whatever you want to call it, we added that. But let me say this, 2021 will be the epic year. We have made some decisions, and now we are fixing to take on the endeavor of doing even greater things here at Deep South Homestead. That is why we are going to be expanding. And I think by the end of the year, you all will see what we're talking about. We're making some big changes.
Frogfoot Hollow says, if an LCE happened, have y'all set up a network to get things that you can't produce yourselves?
Yes. The honest truth is that Wanda and I have pretty much tried to stock up. I mean, Wanda and I are at 60 years old and 60 plus.
I'm the 60.
Yeah, she's the 60. I'm the plus. If we live a normal life, we've got 12 to 15 years left of decent living. We're stocking and prepping for 15 years, to the best of our ability. Now, some things we're shooting for 25 years just to be safe, like the freeze-dried foods and stuff like that. But our stock in our stash, if nothing happens, should be able to take us the full 15 years without
And that's
too
what
much
we're
problem.
working toward.
That's what we're working toward
and
now.
And somebody says we're going to work ourselves to death, we are working to not work, if that makes sense. We're building up things like the fencing and the ponds and all this stuff, getting the cabin ready, the she shed where I can, so that once all these projects are finished, we can relax. I mean, we sat out on the pier. We've spent the day with the kids. There's been several times this week, Danny and I just went out to the pier and just sat.
Yeah.
I know y'all think we don't. We work 24/7, but we don't. We just go out there and sit and just enjoy it. We've got the cabin ready. He's fixing to start with the flooring. We've had the flooring here for close to a month. We've been letting it acclimate in the cabin. And so possibly this week he'll start flooring in the cabin. And we don't like too many projects at the cabin having it ready. And we can go over there and we can still spend the night and do what we want, but eventually it'll be ready. So we just pop over there.
They're asking, is our family members interested in homesteading and taking over our place later when the time comes? The answer is no. We have nobody that's interested in doing that. They all have their own places, you know. So we don't. Whatever happens here will just happen here. One of the subscribers here said, "Oh my, y'all are going to build a cabin for us. Well, how great." Well, not quite there yet, but
well, we don't know who will have this in the future. I mean, it doesn't matter who has it. Danny and I, one of our expansion projects started last year with fruit trees.
Yes.
Danny purchased probably 50 plus fruit trees last year. There's fruit trees everywhere, and he ain't stopped. Y'all saw his razzmatazz. He's real proud of that thing. That little bitty thing was expensive, I promise you.
It was very expensive.
But he wanted it. He wanted another grape type substance here. And this year, 2 years ago, we added a lot of nut trees like the oaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so Danny and I may not ever see all these come to fruition, right?
No, we may not. We've got Carpathian walnuts and all that coming. Still haven't made it here yet. We're planning on planting some walnut trees and some things. We probably have right now we have several hundred different fruit trees.
Yeah. And so we may never see this, but the next person that has this property may inherit or buy a huge, beautiful place that's just hanging with fruit and nuts and stuff. That's what we envision. Even though we may never see it, somebody in the future will see it. And that gives us joy, just knowing that somebody will enjoy it at some point in time. Now, we have several kids and a bunch of grandkids, and who knows what will happen in the future.
Only God knows what will happen in the future. I mean, there may be someone who, you know, or a grandkid or something that steps up and says, "I want to stay and I want to help y'all." You know,
and I want to know how to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, our grandkids are just now getting, the oldest one's starting to drive. She's been driving about, what, a year? She's 16, almost 17.
Probably about a year.
A little over a year. So we've only got one right now driving, but we've got steps. They're all over the place. They'll all be driving before long, and so who knows what will happen then.
Yeah, the whole idea of Wanda and I doing YouTube anyway was to leave a legacy for our grandkids. That was our biggest thing. Should something happen to us and YouTube is continuing to go, then they can go back and see how Nana and Papa, or whatever they call us, you know, how we did things, what it was like to live back in the good old days.
And two, I have all of them backed up on hard drives. So if YouTube goes away, they still will inherit the videos. Okay. Chicken.
Nadia has asked the question twice. I've seen it go through here.
Okay.
How do we let our potatoes grow and add soil later? I have a implement I put behind my tractor called a disc killer. And what we do is we'll go back and put a little more fertilizer along beside the potatoes. And I'll take that disc killer. We have videos on this, and we'll go by and we'll actually bed more dirt up on top of them. Now, we won't cover the plant up because these are determinate potatoes. They're not indeterminate. They're determinate. They won't make any more potatoes up on the vine, no matter how much dirt I put on them. They'll only make what's at the bottom of the plant. So we just bed them up, and we try to get them up out of the ground as high as we can so that if it starts raining, they won't rot in the soil. And no, I'm not going to sell my property to Bill Gates.
Okay, let me explain about my chicken. Wanda got chicken happy.
Yes, she
and
did.
I ordered $230-something worth of chicken on sale, half price. When they had that sale, I told Danny, I said, we don't need to raise beak birds. These are organic. I'm buying them. One box got here last Friday night. Like we told you, one box. One box was still in Gulfport from Friday morning. Saturday night when we live streamed, it still was in Gulfport. To this day, it's still in Gulfport.
Yeah. Some kind of rotten chicken is in Gulfport.
The third box left the facility and never heard of again.
Somebody decided they wanted that chicken really bad, and they just took it, and nobody knows what happened to it.
So Purdue Farms this week, after a bunch of messaging back and forth, they agreed. They didn't have any problems giving me my refund for all my chicken. I said, but I was looking forward to my chicken. And they said, well, they had sold out at the warehouse of all that they had. So in the next couple of 3 weeks, I can order again, but I'll be paying full price. So I did get one big box. The other, somebody in Gulfport got, or either it sat in their warehouse and got to smelling really bad after a week. And the third box, somebody lifted between the warehouse and the UPS store because it never made it. So who knows?
Susan says, what can you do with the dirt in the containers once all the garden is done for the season? We don't do it. She
didn't say dirt.
She said soil. Okay. We don't do anything with ours. We just keep amending it, and we just keep using it.
And add more if we need to.
We add more amendments to it if we need it, you know.
Y'all, this has been a running joke all week.
It has. We got in trouble for using the word dirt. I'm so sorry. I apologize to you people for using the word dirt. I was told I was politically incorrect on this one, and I had to use the word soil because I didn't know the difference between dirt and soil. Where we live at, if you use the word soil, nobody knows what you're talking about. Everybody uses the word dirt, unless you're buying potting soil. When you say soil, they think you're talking about what's in a bag, not what's in the field. So, you know.
Okay, somebody asked about my shirt. It says, let me find where it's at. This says right here, it says Sunflower Showdown 2020. Yeah. And it's a sunflower, and at the bottom it says, show me yours. Last year, Hoss Tools put out this, I don't think it was started by 4 Kids in a Farm. 4 Kids in a Farm started it, but we had to grow Hoss Tools sunflowers. So it is on our Bonfire site for shirts, so you can get this shirt on Bonfire. But we had a huge competition. You can go back and watch videos. I did some of them on Crazy Days. I don't know how many of them are even on Deep South, but we did most of them on Crazy Days. I was ragging the guys because most of them were guys. We had Naked Hog, 4 Kids in a Farm, Adler Farms, Hoss Tools, and Coghill Farms. And most of them were guys. And Wanda planted the little bitty sunflowers. They planted the big old sunflowers, and Wanda's got as tall as theirs when mine wasn't supposed to be, but 4 to 6 feet, and mine got, what, 12 feet and something? I may not have won the competition because I didn't exactly follow the rules and plant the big ones, but I still was in the, I ragged them all year. So this was my t-shirt, show me your sunflowers. That was what it was about.
Deborah wants to know, can I grow rutabagas in my GreenStalk? Yes, you can. You can grow rutabagas in there.
I'd only put one
but
in
only
each
put
pocket.
one in each one of them now, because if you want a nice size one, you can only do one.
Yeah, everybody's saying dirt. Yeah, we got in trouble because we didn't call it soil.
Yeah, we got kind of like told we didn't know what we was doing, you know.
They kind of said I wouldn't listen to a guy that calls soil dirt.
Yeah, evidently he doesn't know what he's doing. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've been doing this for like 50 years. I guess I probably don't know.
Danny, are you smoking any meat soon?
No, probably not anytime soon.
We are fixing to get a
fixing to get a whole cow delivered probably, what, next weekend?
Possibly. She said possibly next Friday. If
next
not,
Friday,
next Monday.
Be the next Monday if it's not. We're going to have a whole cow cut up, ready to go in the freezer, and freeze drying some meat. We're going to be canning some beef, and whoo, Lord, it's going to be some good eating around for a while.
Dirt must be a Neanderthal word. Aletha, it is.
It is a Neanderthal word, yes, because Mississippi is Neanderthal. Y'all know that. Texas is Neanderthal. This afternoon, Arizona become Neanderthal, and another state become
Is it New
Neanderthal.
Jersey?
Nope, it was
It was up north.
it was Connecticut.
Mhm.
Connecticut opened up part of its stuff today. Yes,
No,
it did.
it
Opened up restaurants
it
and
wasn't.
bars and
It was
West
Arizona,
Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia started opening up part of their stuff.
Yeah. Ignore the cancel culture.
I know, isn't it hilarious? I love to find out how ignorant we really are.
Mississippi's last in everything.
Except we were first in this one.
No, Texas.
Texas beat us by 1, though. But that's the closest we ever been to being first in anything other than maybe the coronavirus. You know?
No, we were first with something with the coronavirus. I don't remember what it was, but something during the year Mississippi hit #1, and I'm like, yes, we finally got #1 in something.
Yeah, we finally made it to be #1. Might not have been what we wanted to be #1 in, but we was #1. We're #1 in being the poorest state.
Yo, don't know what's coming out of his mouth.
You never know what I'm going to say next. Y'all just have to take me with a grain of salt sometimes, because when it gets to be past a certain time, oh, it's called DAD. It's called Danny After Dark.
Yeah. Sometimes it's Danny Before Dark.
Yeah, sometimes it gets to be woo.
Yeah, so.
Eyebrow licking good cow.
So the Dexters are doing great. We've got the fencing.
Oh, they are doing good, really.
The fencing video coming up one day this week. I don't know when we're doing what, because we hadn't even. Tomorrow will be an editing day.
Yeah.
I'll do the fencing, and at the end I show them in their new. It's not a new pasture. It's their old pasture, but we let them back in after we locked them out for a while. They weren't happy with us.
They weren't happy with us when we put them in a smaller pasture and there was no grass, and they had hay to eat. They wasn't happy at all. They hollered and hollered, but the fence was down like 2 foot high in some spots. We had to get it fixed before the cows got out and got on our neighbor's place, and then we'd have had even worse problems than we had with our neighbors already.
Can I plant Cherokee tan in the ground this week? It's a little early, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't do it this week. Maybe, well, it depends on where you live at. And if you live in Florida, it's probably all right. You're South Florida.
He's a lover, and I think he's in Texas. South Texas.
South Texas, maybe, but I would give it, because you got another big cold blast coming this week into Texas. I probably would give it at least 2 weeks before I put them in the ground.
Oh, Annabeth started her own channel. It's called Adventures with Annabeth.
Yeah, it was on there a while ago. I told you.
Okay, I didn't see. I knew Annabeth said something, and I couldn't see what it was. Tell her to send me a link through an email so I can just go straight to it. Because sometimes when I type stuff in on my computer, on new channels, when people tell me they started a channel, YouTube just sends me all over the place, and I'm looking for 5 minutes and can't find it. So if she'll send me an email.
Any advice on keeping carrots from turning green on the top? Cover them up with dirt.
Add more dirt. Kind of like you do potatoes. Just kind of.
Actually, I think Florida beat Texas.
Florida may have.
Yeah,
I know there was like Florida.
I think Florida was ahead of Texas when it comes.
So maybe we thought.
Now that I think about it, I think it was Florida was ahead of Texas.
But I know we got called in.
He's in Houston. Yeah, you need to give it another week or so in Houston there. About not this week, but next.
Miss Roy says, "Oh my, I'm interested. Can you adopt me?"
Oh,
we have people.
We have adopted a lot of people
since we started YouTube. The first year we started YouTube, we adopted I don't know how many young people. Most of them young people under 40. A lot of them under 30. They came to visit. We had them. Here off and on. You can go back. We have videos of a lot of people that have been here off and on, visitors, and it's been great because we've adopted a lot of people. In
Clayton said he started their own channel called Clayton Rogers.
Okay.
Check them out, guys. See what they have. Do I have a video on thinning carrots with Danny level details?
Probably.
I probably do. I got so many videos out there about carrots and stuff till. Let me say this, if I don't, okay? I probably do, but if I don't.
I know you do. You and I sat out there and thinned carrots one time and did a talk while we were thinning carrots. I remember that.
If I don't and you can't figure it out, thin them out to 1 inch apart to start with, and eat the baby carrots and salads and stuff as you thin them out, and then thin them out to about 1.5 inches apart.
When do you plant green beans in the garden?
Well, it depends on where you live at. If you live in Zone 8, you
That's
can probably...
Shane. He's in Texas.
Texas, probably in about the middle of March.
All right. So,
okay, we do have one. Raised thinning carrots. There it is right there. Amy put it up.
See? People find this stuff.
Yeah.
Amy and Lippy are just on it. I don't know.
Eagle Lover says I'm 65, so I can be an old adoptee.
We've adopted quite a few
We've adopted quite a few older people.
We've got all kinds of people. We became aunt and uncle, Aunt Wanda and Uncle Danny to a lot of people the first 2 years. Future Dreams to Reality was one of our...
Miss Sarah was probably one of my first adoptees.
She was.
She was at our first gathering. I actually brought Miss Sarah up in front of everybody.
Kind of shocked her.
Kind of shocked her. She kind of scared me to start with. Because I was outside, had the back of the vehicle open, and I was looking in it and getting something out of it. And I turned around and noticed this young lady standing there just kind of staring at me. And I just kept doing it. And I turned around and I said, can I help you? You know, I mean, and she just started talking to me a little bit. And she told me that she liked what we did. She liked our channel and everything. And she told me all about what she was doing. And I was just totally excited that the younger generation coming up was enjoying what we was doing. And she did not know I was going to do this, but I brought her up when I went up to speak in front of everybody. I asked her to come up, and I threw her channel out there. I threw her out there, and I think it kind of shocked her a little bit. But yeah, her gardens look amazing.
Yeah, we got to spend a little time. I spent some time talking to her and her mom later too, while Danny was inside talking to people. And you know, that first gathering we had was at the lake, and it was just amazing. We had more one-on-one time with everybody that year.
Yeah,
we got to talk to a lot of people that it was, I mean, there was only like 65 people, but it was out of 65, we might have known 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, before the gathering, we didn't really know them. So we got to talk to a lot of people. We had a lot of good help, and most all of the ones we met then are still with us to this day, and still we talk to them and enjoy fellowship with the people that were at our first gathering. And I know somebody asked about gatherings earlier. I did see that. There's going to be one. Morris Hill, I think, is in here. She's doing a gathering somewhere. It's like a picnic type thing, I believe. And I think she's in, I don't know, is she in Kentucky?
I don't know.
She's up north, Tennessee, maybe Tennessee. I may have it wrong, maybe Tennessee, in that area. And I do know there is a picnic going on because Gemini Homestead mentioned it too. So one of them can post what it is or whatever. It's not, and then I think possibly Doug and Stacy has some kind of gathering still. Theirs is you have to pay for. The picnic, I don't think they're charging, but I may be wrong. I don't know.
So Mimsy's asking about, how do you judge thinning out tender greens and stuff like that? Mimsy, I usually do on tender greens, I usually do 6 to 8 inches between each plant. To me, that's a pretty good spacing. I eat the little ones as I take them out, and then I try to leave the more mature, the better looking ones, and space them, you know, somewhere between 6 and 8 inches apart.
Okay, it's Heartland Homesteaders. It's set for, is that September 11th, 2021?
Yeah.
So you got a ways. And contact somebody like Gemini Homestead or Morris. I think it's called Morris Hill. I just remember Morris Patch.
Morris Patch.
Yeah, Morris Patch of Heaven is Missouri. Okay. All right. So I don't know if that's 2 different ones or the same one.
Gemini Stringfield's doing one in Kentucky.
Okay. So Morris Patch of Heaven is having a picnic April of 2021. Okay, so 2 different things. One's in Missouri, one's in Kentucky, and you said you were in Ohio, the person that was asked, and so, you know, it would be a drive either way.
There's Chasing Rabbits jumping in here.
Hey, girl.
How are your potatoes doing? We have video up at the first part of this. We showed our potatoes. Let me see right here. That's somebody who got in here late, I guess. Let me show you. This is one picture of them. They're up and doing well right now. We're just praying that the cold weather coming does not damage them in any way.
I can't see. Antpol, Antpol, says, I want to start my own homestead channel. No, my own homestead, sorry. What tips do you have for a beginner homesteader?
Buy land, more than what you think you'll need. Make sure it's got water on it, whether it's a stream, ponds, wells. Do not depend on community or municipal water systems. Make sure you have your own. And make sure you do not have to cross a right of way to get into your property. Make sure it joins a public road somewhere. Those would probably be some of the first things that I would make sure it has pasture if you plan on having some animals. Or if you plan on hunting, make sure that there's not a pile of people living right around you.
Water.
And get 10 acres. I don't say water.
Water.
And get 10 acres or more, preferably 20 or more if you could afford it.
Okay. In our opinion, would a freeze dryer eliminate the need to can? No.
No. Freeze dryer does not do everything.
Yeah, I would still can. It could eliminate some of the things that you can or give you a long term besides canning. We figured out a few things, and we're going to address that in a video coming up.
Yeah.
That we will freeze dry some and can some for long-term storage and some for shorter term storage.
Sarah, yes, we do cut up our fingerling potatoes. This year, our French fingerlings, we cut them up. We actually show them being cut up. It's just like any other potato. Just make sure you got 2 or 3 eyes on each piece you cut out, and then let them cure before you put them in the ground.
Okay, now Susie Q asked this, and I did see it a while ago, and I forgot. Black mold on crepe myrtles.
I've never had black mold on crepe myrtles. I don't know. The bark on our crepe myrtles peel and falls off. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you now. If you have black mold on the leaves on crepe myrtle, that's usually caused by aphids. And if it's just that, it's just a sugary substance that during the wintertime you can just wash off. But anything other than that, I do not know.
Have you used tattlers, and would you recommend if there's nothing else available?
If you can get tattlers and you want to use them, that's fine. But just understand that there's a process to using tattlers. When you put a tattler lid on a jar, my understanding, I've tried them. I had a failure with some. I had a success with some. I believe my biggest failure was I tightened them too tight because sometimes I don't know my own strength.
He always tightens too tight. I won't let him do my jars.
Yeah, Wanda don't let me do the jars anymore. She says I tighten them too tight. And
it's not a mechanical thing like a motor where you tighten them screws down. That's what he does. He thinks everything has to be tight. No,
yeah. So just don't tighten them until after they come out of the canner has been what I've learned.
What do you think about using electric pressure canners? I'm scared of them.
I just don't trust anything like that electric.
I had one of those Instapots, and stuff started spewing out everywhere the first 2 times I used it, and Wanda got rid of the Instapot. I don't like them, so I wouldn't do it.
What do we suggest canning for someone with high blood pressure? Well, high blood pressure is not really brought on by canning. They say that, well, they want to say that salt has a big issue to do with it, but most high blood pressure is brought on by tension and stress and things like that. I would probably say you need to get yourself out of a tense environment, or maybe change jobs or whatever.
What do you need to know about growing comfrey? Mr. Charles at Old Alabama Gardener is probably one.
He's probably got the best information on that of anybody I know.
He grows comfrey. We got ours from him, and he does a fabulous job with it. I would check him out on comfrey. Faith asked, did you eat the ice cream? No, he just stood by and watched everybody else.
I don't get to eat. Whenever they go and eat, I don't ever get to eat anything because I can't eat that kind of stuff. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm grown up enough that I don't get upset when I don't get something to eat.
He came back and ate sweet potato.
I came home and ate some sweet potato stuff, and I was totally happy.
We'll have to get him something he can eat. We've eliminated a lot of things in the last few weeks, and Danny had a really good 2 weeks. We added one back, which was the almond flour, and he had 2 spells twice, so we quit the almond flour again to see if that's really going to be what it is. You know, that the almond flour was triggering something with the heart. So we're going to see.
Yeah, we're just cutting out things and little by little. Christy says, yes, stress shoots my blood pressure. It shoots mine up big time. You can ask Wanda.
It shot it up this week.
Yeah, mine got shot up pretty high this week. So you never know. When you least expect it, something will just pop up, and you got to deal with the situation, you know. But nevertheless, it's dealt with, and it will be corrected.
So, guys, what we wanted to talk about just a minute on the expanding the homestead. You can buy more land, but sometimes when you're on a limited amount of land, you can expand what you're doing by adding ponds and greenhouses and extra things. New fencing, taking out some of the woods. Danny loves his woods. He always has loved the woods.
I love my woods, but when I've got cows,
we needed the pasture.
I need pasture, so I'm having to clear some of it.
So there are ways, I know we hit in our 9 o'clock thing, but there are ways to extend your homestead where you're at. Growing inside, growing in green stalks, you know, anything that you can do to extend what you're doing is a good thing. What about rice flour? That's one of the things we cut out also because it was a toss-up between rice flour and almond flour because I was using both and the heart was just getting worse and worse. And so we've got about 4 things. We also cut out cheese and things. And so we're just going to start them back one at a time, see what happens. But we did start the almond flour back, and within the hour, 2 hours after eating it, he had the first spell. And then he waited a day and ate some more, and he had spells all night long last night. So it's quite possible it's the almond flour.
Yeah, we're just, it's a process of elimination. You just got to see what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, and guys, yes, you can only do so much on 10 acres, so it's time for Deep South Homestead to make another step, and we are actively planning on doing that. Hopefully, if you'll just subscribe to us and stay with us,
and hit the thumbs up
hit the thumbs up button. You're going to be seeing in videos in the future some of the expansions that we're talking about, and I think that they'll be enjoyable. Let me say that. And I think some of you might even be surprised.
Yes, Bethany, I would cover even in a GreenStalk. If you're going to get down to 26, I'd say if you're getting below 32, cover your GreenStalk. I took a blanket and wrapped around mine when it got that cold. And I told my daughters, both my daughters have GreenStalks. I said, if it's going to get 32 or below, cover them with some type of blanket to protect them. Right now, my potatoes are looking awesome in my GreenStalk. And if we're going to get down past 32, I'll be going out there covering them.
Yes.
Because it's up on the ground. And if you've got any water in it, if you know it's going to get that cold, don't water it that day or something. Don't water it late in the evening anyways, because you don't want any water standing in if you can help it.
ABCXYZ says, are you going to try to turn some of those dehydrated potatoes into flour? Yes, we do plan on doing that in the very near future.
Yeah, we've got a lot of videos, but it seems people aren't interested in the freeze-drying videos as much as I thought they would be. So I guess instead of putting several back-to-back like I had planned, we're just going to space them out for a while.
Gaussmania says, we're always looking where God is leading, and that's where we are. If God tells us to move, we will move. If God says no, we won't do it.
And if he says go add this, we add it.
If he tells us to add here, we're going to add there. We're just doing whatever the Lord leads us to do.
And right now, we are enjoying our place.
Yes.
Susan, thank you.
Susan, thank you so much.
Something toward the next parcel of land. Thank you, man. We've just been, we've been looking for, not religiously, but pretty good for what, 2 years?
We've been looking
and we have found nothing yet.
Nothing in 2 years that we are satisfied with that can hold a candle to what we do here. But it's not to say that it's not out there. I'm dealing right now with a particular individual, and we're going to see how that turns out.
Yeah. So we like our place. We like what we're doing, and we're not saying we're going anywhere.
No, I'm not saying I'm going anywhere.
It's just that we're learning how to expand where we're at right now. And that you can too.
Somebody wants to know, do GreenStalks grow strawberries very well? Yes, but make sure of one thing: you fill you fill the thing all the way to the top with dirt. Don't leave the dirt way down in it where the strawberries stuck off down in a hole down in
It
there.
needs to be up over the side. And I've got some that are down this far, and but they're still doing, but as many as I could get up to the top because the dirt settles. And even though I filled mine all the way to the top, once you start watering, the dirt will start settling. And it might pay you to kind of pack it a little and then build it up a little more and then put your strawberries in as close to the top of the pocket as you can.
Blake says he's has a wife and 2 kids, is looking to go off grid. What kind of advice do I have? Well, if you're looking to go off grid, the first thing you want to do is go outside on your box outside your house and throw the breaker. Try living without any electricity for 1 week. See where you have your most difficulty at, and then decide after 1 week, is this something that I really want to do?
See if you and your wife are still together after 1 week off grid.
See how the family fares. Now, I know your house may not be set up for living off grid, but it's a doggone good lesson because Wanda and I have tried living at the cabin for 2 weeks with no electricity, and we learned very quick where we were falling short at.
Yeah, and every time we go to the cabin, we notice something different that we haven't thought about because there's so many aspects that you really don't think till you don't have it. And we've learned when we go over there now, we're more at peace. We love it. It's just tranquility. And the deal is off grid gets you away from stuff. Don't take the stuff with you if you go off grid. Too many people are making that mistake and they're going off grid, but yet their internet's right there in their house and they find ways. We don't have any at the cabin. No internet, no nothing. We just over there enjoying what we're doing, and it's peaceful.
Is it too late to plant carrots in North Carolina? No, it's not. Just understand this, that summertime carrots will not be as sweet as carrots grown in the winter months. They'll grow faster in the summer than they will in the winter, but because of the heat of the summer, they will be a little bit bitterer than they will be in the wintertime. They will not be as sweet.
It's cheaper to learn to live with no electricity than doing solar. Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Solar gets very expensive.
Solar is very expensive up front, and it's very expensive to maintain.
Yeah. Christy says, I'm concerned about my can jars staying cool enough off grid. If you're in Mississippi, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember where Christy is, but I think she's in Mississippi. She's further north, though. That is our problem, too, without electricity. Even our house, if we turned the electricity off and left it, it gets pretty warm in here. But it doesn't get to the point that it's beyond what a jar can handle. I know people that store jars sometimes in sheds and stuff, and it's still, I don't know, it'll still be good for a while. I just don't know how long.
Okay, guys, we're already way after 9 o'clock. We have got to eventually jump off here. We've still got a lot to do here before we go to bed tonight. Do I take my potatoes down to 1 or 2 eyes? I usually try to leave 2 eyes on my potatoes whenever I cut them. And if I'm running short on potatoes, I will do 1 eye, but I usually do 2. You need a root cellar to keep things cool. That's where we have our stuff, is in a cellar. It seems to stay really cool. What we have in the house is only brought up because that's what we're going to eat for the next month.
Yeah, somebody said also try homesteading alone if one gets hurt or sick, because that is a big deal.
Yeah, can a person, can you do it on your own? It's pretty. I guess I've done it by myself before. It's really a challenge. Let me say that.
Yeah. So.
My favorite veggie. What's our favorite veggie? Mine? I don't know what my favorite vegetable is.
You eat an awful lot of sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, I guess, is my #1 because they're a great cancer fighter. They're just really good to eat. They're the superfood. I mean, there's sweet. I eat sweet potatoes every day of my life.
Thank you, orphan lady. Mine, I don't know that I have a favorite, but I like my peas, my field peas, and I like the jalapenos with cheese and stuff. So I guess mine would be kind of a combination. If I can have field peas and jalapenos with cheese stuffed in them baked, I'm good. So I could eat those about every day.
Okay, we fixing to jump off here, guys. If you have any prayer requests, just make sure that you throw them up so that other people can pray for them as well as us.
And, and we do want you to remember Heather
at
Needy Homestead.
At the Needy Homestead.
And
we pray for them every day anyway. But I mean,
we've had a lot of people got a lot going on. Either they're looking for new homesteads, they're trying to homestead by themselves. We have a lot of elderly people that are not able to homestead, so they ask, you know, what can they do? You can prep, you can buy up what you need, and you can do it gradually. You'd be surprised if you go to the grocery store tomorrow and you buy $10 extra worth of something and put it on a shelf and don't use it. And the next time you go to the grocery store, spend $10 and put it up. Probably within 3 months, you would have a good stash that would last you so many months into the future. And you just keep doing that and rotating out. That's the deal.
Thank you, Gerhard. We sure appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have a prayer where we can get off of here and see if we can't get everything caught up before we get. Let's see here. Salvation for
Brian
brother.
Said, pray for his full quiver.
Oh. Okay, Father, we feel so blessed to be able to sit here tonight with really such great people, Father. It seems like that the ones that we have on our channel are just wonderful, Father. We're so thankful that you've allowed them to be a part of our lives and us to be a part of their life. Our prayer is, Father, that we can be a blessing to them because they've already been such a blessing to us, and it really moves our heart, Father. And Lord, there are times in our life when there are sad moments, and we have a very special time that we want to think about right now for Miss Heather as she's lost her husband in an automobile accident, and herself has actually been messed up a little bit, and she's recovering. It's slow, but she is recovering, Father. Lord, I'm asking you to bless her financially, Father, and physically, and emotionally, Father, and spiritually, so that she can get back on her feet. It's going to be difficult. Hadn't seen her children in a while, and Father, that's hard on a parent to go from a full family to being alone and then having just your children left. And Father, that's going to be a challenge for her. I've lived some of that, and I know the challenges that a person can face. And I pray for them tonight, Lord. I pray deeply for them. Lord, there's Wanda has a friend that has cancer now. Miss Tammy, Lord, we just pray that Father, that she can. She's going through chemo right now. And Lord, we just pray that her body can be healed and that she can be able to be back to herself and to be able to be a blessing to her and her church and her family and everything that she's always been, Father. And Lord, there are those on here that's left tons of prayer requests. Brian's pray. He said, "Pray his quiver's full." And Lord, your scripture says, "Blessed is the man whose quiver is full." But Father, along with a full quiver comes the fact that you got to provide for all these children. And I pray that they'll have the resources to be able to provide for their children and their family, Lord. And Father, all the other ones on here tonight that made all the prayer requests, Lord, I pray for each and every one of them that they can have the physical, spiritual, financial, and emotional needs of each and every one of them, Father. There are those that are looking for homesteads. I pray that you'll lead them to the right homestead, Father. As Wanda and I try to make decisions for the future here, I pray that you help us to make the decisions we need to make, Father, as we deal with situations that surround us here. I pray that we'll make wise decisions and that we'll be able to move forward and be able to do the things that we need to do and give us victory over all things, Lord, in our lives. And Father, we just want to pray for our nation. It seems like we're going down the tube really fast. We pray that those that are making the decisions, Lord, that you will stop them yourself, Father. They seem like they're too ignorant to realize what's really best for the nation at this moment. And we're praying for your intervention, Father, and to remove these people wherever it takes, whatever it takes. Get them out of the office, do whatever's got to be done, and give us back people that know how to lead a country, Father. And Lord, go with us tonight and grant us tonight the blessings of obedience, the fruits of the Spirit, and financial resources to be able to afford the things in life that we need. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. All right.
All right, Miss Roy said, please pray for a way to our own place. We have started the process. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, we did pray for that tonight. People who's looking for a homestead.
Gosmania, pray for them, their daughter Madison that passed.
16th birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah. She's been in heaven since she was 12. Gosmania came and visited us last weekend.
Yes, they did.
And y'all, if you've ever lost a child, you will be sympathetic to them. You will know that it's hard every day of her life, but there's certain anniversaries and birthdays and things that make it 10 times harder than it is just every day.
Yeah.
And so we talked a little bit with her that day, and she does covet your prayers. And you know, you guys just remember Robin and Jerusha.
Yes.
Right.
To her husband, 2 children, Johnny Ellington.
I'm not
Ackerman,
sure.
were
Grandma
killed in a car
Rose.
crash Thursday. Everyone's nightmare.
Jessica
Ellington of Oxford, Mississippi. Husband and 2 children, plus Ann and Johnny Ellington of Ackerman, Mississippi's grandchildren.
There was a lot of them killed in one car wreck, I guess. That sounds like it. Thank you, Grandma Rose.
Yes, I totally understand. My former wife that passed away, we lost 3 kids in a car accident at one time. So that was
Danny had to, I mean, she had already lost them before they married, and
yeah.
And that those anniversaries and birthdays and everything.
Had to deal with it every time.
It was something for him as well as for her.
Yes.
But she also went around and taught grief management.
Yeah, she did. She did grief management. I did PowerPoint presentations while she did the grief management at different churches and retreats and women's meetings and stuff like that. We tried to use the opportunity to praise the Lord even through the loss of the children.
All right, so guys, we're gonna get off. Wanda did not eat anything before the live stream, and I'm not eating on the live stream because I've had
but I am, because I don't care what anybody says.
Too many people throwing a temper tantrum because I eat on the live streams, and I said, okay, I'm not gonna eat. I'm fixing to go heat up a couple of sausages because I made some barbecued sausage today, and it was awesome. And I am fixing to go eat.
All right, guys, y'all have a blessed night. And we will, let me see if I can first of all figure out how to drag this thing down right here because it's in the way. There we go.
Thank you, moderators. Y'all did a good job.
Yeah, y'all did a fantastic job tonight. So we will.